Hello, and welcome back to Star Citizen for episode 2 of the new player guide that I'm putting together, mostly inspired by playing with some friends recently and seeing their struggles in the verse. Hopefully, this will reach, at least one or two new players or people considering getting into Star Citizen, or that they've never heard of the game and, they might find this rather interesting. This is an alpha game. I do want to stress that for anybody looking at backing the game. I did say yesterday, there are a lot of bugs in the game, and you do have to have a certain amount of patience sometimes with the workarounds. Uh, but I do still think that the game is in a very playable state, and you can have quite a bit of fun roaming around in your spaceships and seeing what CIG is putting together. So yesterday we looked at some basic controls for the game. We did box delivery mission, which is a really basic gameplay loop that you're going to do with the starter ship. And today we're going to go a little bit different. We're going to try and do some combat. I haven't flown the Avenger in a combat mission in a lot of patches now. Because I've always just gone to the Cutlass Black for most of my missions, just because it's a great all-around ship. But the Avenger should still get the job done for what we're trying to do today. So hopefully we'll get a couple of lighter bounties, because this is a light fighter, or I think it's actually listed as an interceptor when you spawn the ship. So we're not going to be going after any big targets, but again, I am not a great combat pilot in the game, especially with mouse and keyboard. But we're gonna see what we can get into out in the verse. So we're just gonna jump into the ship and see what's out there for bounties. So this is the same ship that we flew yesterday.
Ready. Contact. Launch complete.
And we have a pirate, or somebody with a crime stat.
Thank you. Please
Deadly Mike. Let's see, is there a bounty for him? There is, too. This could be a terrible idea. Alright, so that was a very quick bounty just sitting outside of Port Olisar. So what we're going to do is land here, because we did use our missiles, unfortunately.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Proximity alert. Head. Landing gear retracted. Proximity alert. Head. Landing gear deployed. Automated landing initiated.
So we're just going to make a quick landing here, rearm, and then we're going to head out. So what we'll do right now is I'll just cover just the real basics here of your ship combat. So when you... I should have done this while we were fighting the player bounty. But keypad 1 and 3 are going to be so for targeting. So if you hit 1 while you're reticle, your crosshair is over a target. You will target whatever's underneath that. 3 will cycle through enemy targets, and I think it starts with the nearest one. So those are your two methods of targeting enemies. Targeting the enemy is really important because you're not going to be able to get a missile lock or see the lead pip unless you have that enemy targeted. What you've seen me doing already is tapping tab to bring up the scan. The scan just lets me see whatever ship is in front of me. There are other scan methods, but that's not really important towards combat. I've just been using the left click scan just to do like I guess it's called a detailed scan is pretty much what it is. Shows me the type of ship, shows me what their health and percentage is, shows me who the pilot is, which is why then I went and looked to see if there was a player bounty for that Hornet that we shot down at the very beginning. So you can see around the crosshairs of the ship here. So the Avenger has, so you can see the Gatling gun on the front and the two wing-mounted guns. So you can see that they're all gimbal-mounted. So right now, whenever I move the mouse, the guns are going to move. So what that looks like in the ship, so you can see your crosshair off the nose. So the circle indicator is where I'm moving the mouse to, and that's where my guns are going to fire. And the lag indicator, I think, is just wherever your ship, is the direction of travel of your ship, if I'm not mistaken. So now it's caught up, so we're going in one straight line. So right now, this fire mode, your gimbals are free, and they'll go wherever your mouse cursor goes. Now, of course, when you're in mouse and keyboard, your ship is also going to turn in that direction. So it's just something to keep in mind. If you tap R again, now all your gimbals are locked to the ship. So you can see now the Gatling gun and the two wing-mounted guns are not moving independently of the ship. So that means this is going to act more like a fixed weapons. In which case, if you're going to fire them in this mode anyway, you're better off not having them gimbaled, as far as I understand, because you'd be able to go one size higher on your weapons on your hard points, which means you're just going to be punching a little bit above your weight. And then if I tap R again, now this looks a lot similar, because now you see that the guns are not moving with the mouse. They're still locked to the ship. But what this is auto gimbal. So anything, if there's a lead pip anywhere in that dotted circle, your weapons are automatically going to try and train onto that lead pip and hit the target that you're targeting. So this is the mode that we use when we're going after the Hornet, just because it does give you the advantage of you only have to be close. You only have to be close to be accurate, which, that's good enough for me. So we're going to check real quick here again, see if anything new has popped up. Okay, so there's nothing new. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to edit the next part out. No, there is actually one more thing I want to cover before I get to that. So missiles. So when we do have a target locked on, I did fire a couple of missiles at the Hornet, and I'll try and bring up when I'm doing it again on the like on another kill here. But you're going to tap your middle mouse button. You're going to see the pieces of the puzzle form around your target, and once it's a solid circle and you hear a solid tone, then you have a missile lock on. You hold the middle mouse button and you'll fire one of your missiles. So as you can see, we only have 4 missiles on the Avenger. So this is, you know, we have a limited capability of those. Right now in Star Citizen, it's there are countermeasures against missiles, but I don't know if they're working. I still like to use them just in case. But you can see on our HUD, right beside where our hydrogen fuel is, that little flame icon with 16. So that's our, I believe that's our flares. So if we fire that out right now. So what you'll see is, so now we're down to 14 because we just fired that off twice. But what you'll see is on the top part of your heads-up display, you'll see like the symbols are confusing to me because I'm not sure what I imagine they're trying to differentiate between certain missile types or whatnot. But you'll see different icons up there. Some will be flame, some will be like a reception signal. They're a little all over. I think there's a lightning bolt one as well. Just if you see anything red across the top of your HUD, it, as far as I understand, it means there's a missile incoming. I just fire off the chaff or flares, and away we go. But I have read that it's broken right now, and the countermeasures aren't working, and the missiles are just going to hit anyway. But you know, it's the feel-good thing of actually trying to do something, I guess, to countermeasure it. All right, so I think that's where we're gonna hold for right now because I got to get us a mission. So yeah, we're gonna cut out this part here, and I'll skip ahead to the point where we actually have a bounty and we're coming in to engage.
Quantum travel initiated.
Okay, so we've got a bounty. For you guys, it's been seconds. For me, it's been about 20 minutes of jumping around, hunting these down. But we're coming into Daymar for a CS1 bounty. So a CS1 bounty is going to be a single fighter, pretty easy prospect for the Avenger to take out. Usually it'll be a Mustang Delta or something along those lines. Now it is going to be around the Kovalex shipping hub. Now I've had problems in the past with these guys running into the station and the bounty fails, so hopefully that's not going to be the case today. So once we get to the location, it should spawn the target that we're looking for. So bounty hunting right now is pretty simple in the Star Citizen. It's just a matter of eliminating the target. There he is down there.
Head shield under fire. Shields up.
So like I said, it's a Mustang Delta. So you can see the lead pip. What you're looking for is those little blue X's showing up. That means you're scoring hits on the target. So that was, yeah, pretty simple. So this is a quick 1500 UEC. We didn't have to use any missiles. It's just a Mustang Delta. Usually nothing to it. We'll try this one here, CS2. So CS2 is typically a little bit more difficult, only because it's going to be multiple fighters. Yeah, okay, hang on. Okay, there we go. Yellow. So we'll do a quick jump over to Yella and see what we can get into here. So when you're bounty hunting, so this ship is using obviously the Gatling gun on the front, the Mantis. That is a ballistic weapon, so I won't be able to stay out indefinitely chaining these missions together. But if you do have a full energy loadout, you can, and as long as you're not using all your missiles, of course, you can stay out for quite a while and chain these missions together. And they're pretty quick, so you can actually rack up AUEC pretty quickly doing this once you get a good rotation going. Pardon me.
Quantum travel complete.
So when you're doing these, you always want to set your destination to the quantum beacon so that you can quantum as close as possible to your target. And we want to avoid the asteroid.
Complete.
So there's our target, 15 kilometers away.
Contact.
And there he is. So he's in a Mustang Delta as well. So we'll actually just fire a missile at him just so you can see how this is going to work. So 2,500 meters is about where you want to fire your guns. So now I have a missile lock, as you can see, and missile away. Launch another one. So there is two of the ships. Our bounty target is the other ship. So that's the wingman gone, and now we're just going to take out our bounty target.
Missile.
And there we go. As you can see, we're down to one missile. So that is the problem with a lot of the starter ships, is how long you can stay out chaining these missions together before you have to go back and rearm. So we will try... no, because typically these ones are going to be outside a system, I have found. So yeah, as you can see, that's 22 million kilometers away. And with the Avenger, it's not really worth the jump all the time. Like for 2,500 AUC, you could make more than that if you were doing deliveries, doing those kinds of jumps. So. Yeah, so that's going to be all of that for those. I suppose we could try this. See where that's at. Alright, so that's right here. So I haven't done an ECM alert in a long time. I'm not really sure what to expect here.
can't believe someone actually showed. If you hold them off for long enough, I can get my ship running again.
Okay, so we have an NPC Constellation, and I guess we're just going to be protecting him. Drake Buccaneer, so this is a little bit more firepower. So right now I'm just circle strafing. Shields. And that's a mission failure, just because time to kill. Cutlass. This is a little bit more difficult for the target, especially for the Avenger. As you can see, our shields are not holding up very well against it. There's actually a couple of cutlasses in there. Good hits. So we are running low on ammo, and then of course we're going to lose our Gatling gun, which is the biggest part of our damage for the Avenger. This combat is pretty much almost over. while we didn't save the Constellation, we might be able to avenge it at least. Let's see here what happens. Alright, so our Mantis ran out of ammo.
Weapon systems overheating. Danger. Weapon systems overheating. Danger. Weapon systems overheating. Danger. Weapon systems overheating. Danger. Weapon systems overheating.
So of course the concern here is
Weapon systems overheating.
really don't know if these two side-mounted guns are going to be enough.
Proximity alert. Hit.
He's being sneaky, trying to stop like that.
Head shield under fire. Shields up. Kill.
So all in all, we fared all right in the Avenger. We're out of missiles, out of bullets, and we're missing a bit of a wing. Okay, guys, so that was the end of the combat mission, or bounty hunter, intro. I don't think there's much more to touch on that. I wanted to keep this one short and sweet and to the point. We didn't have to touch any controls because we already touched on, well, not too many. We did go through firing modes a little bit, but that's mostly because we touched on everything in the first video. Again, these videos are really aimed at brand new players, brand new backers, getting into the verse for the very first time. For guys that have been around for a while, these aren't going to be very helpful beginner guides. But any newer players, I'm hoping that this will help them with figuring out what there is to do in the game and what kind of game loops there are and how they can spend their time in the verse. With the beginner ships, the beginner packages, like the Mustang and the Titan and the Reliance, you can do pretty much everything we're doing. CS1 missions, CS2 missions, those should be fine. CS3, I might try and do an upgraded, I might try and upgrade the Avenger at some point. But I still think I would need a wingman, so to speak, to get through it. So we'll see what we can do with that. We might try that again in a future video and see how that works out. Or it could just be, another pretty explosion and, one more dead Avenger in the verse. So if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, notifications, all that fun stuff. Check back. We're going to be doing another video soon, like in the next day or two, probably on trading, because I know that's another really common, occupation that people like to do in the verse to make some money. So we'll touch on the basics with that. I am not a great trader. I don't really have the patience for checking all the different prices everywhere, but I do know the basics. But just don't follow my guide if you're trying to make the most money, because that's probably going to be terrible. But I'll make sure to provide some links to some of the resources that can probably help you out with that. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Come back for the next video coming tomorrow.